Welcome to Anthem. So, this is a game that I've actually been looking forward to. It looks pretty awesome. It seems to have a lot of similarities to Destiny and Warframe, which are two games that I enjoyed both of them. Now, didn't I? So, this is kind of the starting town here. You can kind of see it out there. This game is absolutely beautiful. Have you seen it? It's ridiculous. So, what I'm doing here is I'm just playing, I'm going to play a mission, which is kind of the end of the current VIP demo. I'm not sure why they're calling it that. It's basically a beta test that you have to be a member for, but whatever. So here's where you can go to customize your frame. I'm sorry, is it a frame? Your javelin? Wrong game. Essentially, what we saw right there is there's a bunch of different pickups, I guess, items, and these items are your skills and abilities. So there's actually a lot more than what you see down there. It's not like you just get 3. You can pick them up, you can craft better ones, you can find them. They're going to have different bonuses and negatives as well. So it's this game is clearly all about the gear and all about the gear grind. You're going to see that in just a minute here. And it's also about the appearance. You got to look pretty, right? So obviously you can get different components to throw on your javelin, and you can see that right there. But there's also a ton of customizing when it comes to the color. Not just the color, but the paint scheme that you can put on top of it, and then the materials that those colors are then reflected on. I really do like the amount of customization that they've put into these javelins. I was a little bit worried that, it would just be the same thing over and over again, but no, you can really customize it up quite a bit. And that's really good considering, you only have about 4 options. So as you can see here, I'm going to change the color up and kind of go with a red, black, and white color scheme, because you know what, that always works pretty good. And then throw a little chrome in there because, yeah, you know why. Shiny. Alright, so there you have it, my finished look. I'm quite pleased with that. Got my weapons and everything all figured out. And yes, you do have a couple different loadouts that you can gear up for. So you can quickly change between those. You have, I think, 5 options. So if you go into a different mission, you can kind of pick a different frame if you don't want to go ahead and reset up all your skills every single time. So here's kind of the main map. You can see how big it is and see the area that we've been able to roam thus far. So you can see that it's medium-sized, at least in an opinion, right? It takes you maybe a couple minutes to fly across what we've seen right there. And, but there's a lot of detail inside that world as well, and some decent world events that pop up. So they kind of use the same terrain, the same map in different ways when you're out there in free roam and missions and whatnot. Just like we've seen in previous games, they do a good job of switching it up. You can see here they have the different difficulties, give you some sort of idea of how this game is going to progress. Probably everybody's going to play on normal. Then you can play it on hard, and the idea is obviously you get to level 30 and then you start to rank up your gear and start to go up into more ridiculous levels of difficulty for better loot. So essentially you play the game until you're awesome, and then you go to the next level and then you suck again, and then you play the game until you're awesome and suck again, and over again. Yep. So you can clearly see that this game is about grinding gear. And let's face it, we just like to grind gear. So for all those streamers out there, yep, I can see that this game is going to be quite popular with that. Alright, so here I'm jumping into the mission. We're going to go out there and we're going to take on essentially what is the top level content that we have available to us right now. So get this cool little animation. Shows your, I'm going to keep calling it a frame. Shows the javelin going up in the sky and whatnot. And then you go through the hardest boss in the game, which is trying to get through the loading screen here. This is where a lot of the problems we're having in the current VIP demo. Essentially, you get to the end of it, Alt F4 to close the game and launch it again. And then, for whatever reason, you actually get back into the mission. So I'll have you know that I'm running this at a resolution of 3,444 by 1440. So that is less than 4K, which is roughly 8 megapixels. This is roughly 5 megapixels. But if you ask me, it's the best current resolution that we have available to us at a refresh rate of 100 hertz. I have the monitor linked in the description below if you're curious on what I'm using for a screen. In my opinion, it's awesome. I absolutely love it. It's been the best monitor I've ever purchased. This is running on a GTX 1080 Ti that I recently picked up used off of eBay. I know that the latest generation of NVIDIA RTX cards are pretty hot, but they are also quite expensive. That used market, though, has got some real deals in it right now. So I'd check that out as well if you're going to look at some monitors, maybe looking at upgrading your rig here for some of these new games coming out in 2019. So I am playing the Storm class here, so that's kind of the mage equivalent. So I have certain abilities that I can throw out there, cook, you know, people down. Like I have that ball of fire that I can drop, kind of does an AoE attack. I also got chain lightning, which isn't called chain lightning, but it basically is chain lightning. And then I can put up a defense wall that blocks incoming projectiles, at least most of them. So those are the 3 current abilities that I'm running with, but there are other things that I can do right here. So the big thing about this game, and it's kind of cooperative gameplay, is that you have lightning, ice, and fire. And you know, when you affect an enemy with any one of these elements, I should say, you can then combo up extra damage to the enemy. Now, some of these combos you can do all by yourself, such as freeze them and then do a melee attack or something like that. There's definitely options. A lot of these are meant to be kind of interplay between the different players on your team. Okay, so since I'm playing in a pug here, you're not going to see a ton of interplay between the different classes because we're all kind of running around killing and stuff for the same objective. But I will say when I'm playing with at least one other friend, we tend to work together quite a bit through voice chat and, you know, figuring out what targets we're going to take down. And we move through the enemies much, much faster. And some of the harder enemies, especially when we're kind of fighting at on a difficult level, require co-op play to really down the enemies effectively. Otherwise, it just takes a ton of ammo burn just to get through the shield and all that stuff. So there's a lot of really cooperative gunplay that I think really sets this game apart from some of the other things that I've seen used in similar games. So it's really evident when you start playing the classes together as one cohesive unit as compared to playing them solo. And I would say that's where this game is at its absolute best. Now, as I play this, there's a couple of HUD glitches that seem to happen here between, you know, with us having 2 Storm classes in the same squad. But those do get resolved eventually. After all, this is kind of a beta test VIP demo thing. So I'm going to go ahead and just leave you with the rest of the gameplay here, but I am curious what you guys might be thinking about this game. Is it something you're going to play? It's a fair bit different than the other stuff I cover, but you know what? It might be a good game for streaming. What are your thoughts on that? Thanks for watching, guys. If I've earned your subscription, then thank you so much for that. Have a great day. Stay awesome. Peace. Brothgar out.
Anything happens at dropping, we're halfway there.
It looked like the scars were bringing eggs to the relic. The eggs were filled with acid. Could be using the relic to weaponize it.
Let's check the second relic. Put a theory to the test. relics up ahead.
Oh, this one's a lot more crowded. Eggs everywhere. Your theory's got legs. I'll pat myself on the back after I dealt with the scars. Up, scars! was that?
It came from below.
Of course it did.
Hate to say it, but that thing is probably what's producing the eggs. If we don't get rid of the source,
The scars will come back and keep making weapons. Faye, find me a way underground.
Already done. There. That door should lead underground.
Why is there a door to a cave?
To keep something out?
Or an
Did you just yell?
Oh, the big bad Corvus agent's not a fan of scorpions. What? No prophets. Their likability isn't up for debate.
Only way forward is through an underwater passage ahead.
Like, but sorry, you don't want to get left behind in this place.
Wow. It's almost peaceful down here.
Scorpions can't swim, right? Don't worry, Sam. I won't let them get you. That's a lot of eggs.
You know what they say? You've got to crack a few eggs to make an omelette.
I don't want that omelette. What is that?
Another relic. Careful, freelancer. It's unstable.
I hate it when they do that. What do we do now?
Gather the fragments and silence the relic.
heads up, scars incoming.
How'd they get down here?
Bastards love to borrow.
Freelancer.
More scars, I know.
Something extra powerful.
Hey, door's still closed and there's notes everywhere.
Give it a minute, it should work itself out.
Should.
Energy readings are stabilizing, albeit slowly. Just stay in the center, and interference will cause the energy to spike again. center. Stay on the platform.
I don't think our friend liked that. Too bad. I'm just getting started.
It got quiet.
Bet it'll stay that way. It's pretty dark in here.
Throw down a flare. It'll help.
You freelancers have tools for everything. Oh, that's just wrong.
Remember? It's only a scorpion. Bigger.
A lot bigger. You're not helping. It would be unprofessional to cut the link, right?
Highly.
Damn it.
Next time, I expect big-ass bugs to be in the mission briefing.
You'd have to show up for that to help.
Even when it dies is unnerving.
I wonder how many beers it'll take me to forget that thing. I'm gonna go with 8.
One for each of the tyrant's legs.
No more scorpion talk, please.